Welcome, 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 welcome back, family. Welcome to the Reiki Healing Hope community, a place to heal, relax, be yourself, and be surrounded by those who want to see you blossom and or bloom. I am Jessica Sup. I'm a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is all about the secret to life, and yes, this is a nice soft-spoken session because I paid attention to y'all. Remember, we did the community poll, and I asked y'all, did y'all want to have a soft-spoken session? And y'all were like, cool. And so I was like, cool, we about to make it happen. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you can relax, heal, be yourself. It could be daily or whatever. This is so weird. And I don't know why it's weird, because I'm constantly talking on TikTok, so I don't know why this is weird for me. But anyway, so what was I saying? Your nightly self-care routine. So if you're new to the communities, you are now one of my babies, so you get one kiss on the forenoggin. And if you're one of my returning babies, you get multiple kisses. Mama loves you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this session today. And so we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a collective and as a community. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay, may I place my hands on your hands? Okay, let's do this. You ready? Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that brings light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. If you'd also like to hear my voice, you can go back to all of the videos in 2019, because I want to say that I don't think I started whispering until 2020. So for anybody who comments like, oh my gosh, I've never heard your voice before, go back to the first video, okay? Because you will be able to hear my voice there. Okay, so back to the secret of life. So with this secret, I really do feel like what's happening there is, as I was reflecting on longevity, I was reflecting on living out our purpose in life. I started to think, I think that the secret of life, or to a happy life, I think that's I think there's many ways to approach whatever for life, but I think the secret to a happy life is reducing stress, is to lowering your stress. And for a long time, I thought that lowering your stress meant eliminating your problems, but I think that the reality is problems are inevitable. And problems can be good problems too, because sometimes it is having a problem and having to get over it that creates solutions that actually may amplify our lives. But I think it is the suffering that shows up when we're interacting with problems that causes the stress. I think of, often medical conditions. I think of our relationships with everybody in our lives. I think about all of these things, our relationships with ourselves, our goals and our journeys, all of those things. And what really pops out to me is that, somebody with many problems, if they have a better ability of handling stress, they seem to progress further on, with finding solutions, with moving on. And people who who don't handle it very well kind of get stuck. And it's almost as if their problems are worse than the actual problem itself. The problem that they have may not be that big, but their reaction makes it worse on their physical body. I also noticed that stress, the relationship with cortisol and things like that, really throws off the balance that we have in our body. And so for people who are trying to heal from medical conditions, trying to have a better relationship with their body, it can be more difficult to have that when you have a constant state of inflammation in your body, and the inflammation being caused from stress. And so if you're having these high level of stress, so if you're having this high level of stress, everything else seems worse. So I think another thing to point out here is that when we look at the stress, we have to understand it from a societal point, from a societal perspective. And that societal perspective is, if you go to different cultures around the world at the same time, the year 2023, we can transport or just call or phone in to different cultures around the world, very urban, very rural, just different experiences, nomadic, city, whatever. I feel like urban and rural, same thing, right? No matter what that is, people are going to have different rules or different approaches to their everyday life. And it's extremely fascinating that when you live in a society, you believe that those societal rules are, I'm not saying you believe that, but I'm saying it is plausible to think that how you're experiencing society is how everyone across different cultures is experiencing their society. And I do believe within the Western world, and I do believe within the US, that stress is a huge part of the US culture. And I think it comes from our culture of consumerism. We have a culture of consumerism that basically is saying that the purpose is to constantly buy something, constantly feel like you are, that there is a solution that is a material thing. When sometimes the solution is just not giving a fuck. Like, sometimes the solution is not giving a damn, okay? You're like, not that big of a problem. But it is in a way where instead of just feeling like, you know what, I'm going to let it go, not that big of a deal. It's like, don't let it go, and let's, sell you something for that. And I think in that way, I think our stress is commodified. And so there is an incentive to keep people stressed. There's an incentive to keep people sick. There's an incentive to do a lot of things because it props up entire industries. I have this feeling sometimes when I go into the grocery store. I was like, go into the bathroom. I was like, what? I'm like, what am I talking about? No, when I go into the grocery store and I look at all the food that is available, and I think about this, the difference between what I think is global food, or I'll even say European food versus US food. And I look at it and I think to myself, why, when, the US is heavily influenced by European culture for its founding and, blah, 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 blah. Why does the food in the US fuck up people's bodies in a different way than food in Europe? And then I started to think about it. I really looked at, like, what are the population sizes what's the population size of the US versus countries in Europe? And then I start to think about how big the US is. And the US sends food long distances. That's why there's a lot of preservatives. That's why things need to have a shelf life. We can look at eggs, you go to different places in the world and eggs aren't in the refrigerator section. They don't need to. But in the US, eggs are pasteurized. And because they're pasteurized, they lose that natural coating that would protect the egg, against becoming spoiled. But that same coating can contaminate other things around it. And when you're shipping it out, to far places, those preservatives and things like that. And because of that, our body is not used to things like that. On top of that, having a constant state of everything just going, and not having enough or things having to be accomplished so quickly and so fast. I think we lose the perspective that sometimes things take 10 years. And it's almost like if it's not going to be completed in a year, if it's not going to be completed in, a couple of months, you lose the wind and the momentum. And then we also see glimpses into people's lives where, things that may have taken so long, we're just seeing already the end result. So it's almost like, how can you get there quick? Also, a lot of people fake it. A lot of people do not have what they say that they have. They're not where they say that they are. But you can make a whole lot of money and a whole life at pretending to be something that you're not. So I think that with all of that being said, that is a high level of stress. Like, we even can see from studies that came out when, social media started to become a thing, how that affected teenagers, specifically young girls, and how that destroyed their body image, and how that really made them very critical because they're seeing photoshopped pictures all the time. And that can expand even outside of image to what people expect that they're supposed to accomplish at this time. So I say all of that to say, I know I'm like the secret to a happy life and I'm giving you all this doom and gloom. It's not that at all. I'm just simply saying that shit is not real. It's not real at all. It is just a part of one type of society. And if you go somewhere else, there's going to be positives and negatives. But I like to think about it from this perspective. If you were in the middle of the forest, you were in the middle of some area where you are just off grid and you lived a life by your own standards and you felt relatively safe from the elements and any kind of like predators and stuff like that, how would you look at life? Would you be as stressed? I've heard it often where people are like, they go to the country for a simple life, or they go, to the mountains for a simple life or something like that. And I think with that, it makes me think like, constantly being fed an ideal or this is how life is, or, this is what you need to worry about, creates this heightened sense of stress all the time. And if you eliminate that while still living in the society, in the culture, you can really make anything happen. You can really find happiness. So now we're going to bring on some solutions, okay? How to have a happy life, how to have a long, happy life. First things first, whenever someone tells you you can't do something, disregard it. Maybe you can't do it, but I can. Maybe I haven't figured out the solution yet, or maybe I have to do it in a very creative way. A lot of times people tell you you can't do something because they gave up on their dreams. That's on them. That don't got nothing to do with you. Also, give yourself more time. Give yourself years to accomplish it, because the worst thing you can do is burn yourself out. Burnout is something that is a stealer of dreams or stealer of progress. Also, when you're working on yourself, it is not about every moment of the day feeling like you have to be working towards something. It's not that at all. It's just simply saying, this is the life that I want to live and I'm going to work towards it. I would also say having gratitude. But what I mean by having gratitude, it doesn't mean that you have to be on this high all the time and like, happy-go-lucky all the time. You're gonna be pissed off sometimes. That's cool. That's fine. You gotta let your feelings be whatever they are. But gratitude is simply saying, you wake up in the morning, it's like, I'm happy to be living this life. However it's playing out, I'm happy. It feels right. And yes, you will have problems. I'm not going to tell you that you are not going to have problems. Problems are inevitable. The happiness comes from you deciding. You get to choose. And a lot of people give their power up because they're looking for something outside of themselves. They're looking for someone to lead them. They're looking for someone to promise them something that is unrealistic. For all of their loyalty and money. And to that, I say anything that you want. If you realize that anything that you want is in reach, if you believe that you could make it happen and you create your own rules that satisfies what you need in life. And also stop trying to live up to the expectations of other people. Stop trying to have your dream align with yourself and your family and your friends and what you think other people want. Who cares? If you have a dream that you feel like makes you happy, you want to be a pillow maker, go and be a pillow maker. Chase these things that make you happy, and you will lose people along the way. There will be people who will not be happy with you. I can attest to that. When I started this community, I had one person who was adamant of me not doing this, didn't have a reason why. And then I realized that once it became better, they got very jealous and they started to just act crazy. And I thought to myself, because they limited themselves in their life and I chose not to limit myself, they are upset because I challenged their understanding of life and ways of being. And the universe, thank you so much, created an opportunity to release that person from my life. And when I say that things started moving quicker and faster and better, realizing that, wow, who you surround yourself by really, really, really matters. And it really changes things. And I used to think, well, if someone's not evil, see the potential in them. And I don't see that no more. Now I see it like this. Hey, you have the right to go about your life and your journey in any way that you need to, and me too. And I think people it's funny because people are like, they see me and they see the work that I do and they think that they can get over on me, or they think that I'm going to tolerate mess. Y'all who know me know that I don't tolerate mess, but they think they do. So they think they can, act any type of way. Nope, wrong. You're going to get cut. You need to get cut out my life, because the answer is no. I am like everyone else in this community. I am working towards my goals and my dreams as well. So I can't be distracted, and I also don't want to distract anyone. I want to create environments and opportunities where people can get so much out of life. I think that every moment in life is an opportunity to at least inspire ourselves to feel or to grow or to expand or to heal. Sometimes your goals don't even have to be huge. Sometimes the goals can be, let me heal the person that I used to be. Let me love myself in a fuller way. And then you don't need these huge, big things that are expressions of what other people see. Maybe it's just a moment of, wow, I feel like a whole person. I feel like I have what I need. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope it brought a smile to your face. I like to keep it real, and I like to be very realistic. You're not going to come on here and see me talking about this is how everything's going to be happy at all times. No, I try to look at it from a very intersectional perspective. I try to look at it from I was like multi dimensions, multiple perspectives, pretty much. And I like to make things very practical. I like to talk about esoteric things, mystical things, but I think most things in life are pretty practical. And sometimes we can think that just by, fancying it up and putting it behind a spell or putting it behind some type of esoteric practice, that it will reveal something that's hidden. And I think that most of the answers are available in your life without doing any of that. I think that as I'm growing in this space, I feel like doing things that are esoteric and mystical, I think speak more to connecting into what your particular indigenous practices are. Everyone has them, we all have connections and things like that. So I see it as almost an ancestry thing and a way to explore and connect in deeper ways. But again, your problems are much more simple than maybe society or maybe people around you are letting on. If you believe that you would like an answer to whatever your problem is, you will find that answer. And you have to separate naysayers from you who try to make things more complicated than what it needs to be, and be with yourself in that moment. And that's what I said, the difference between solitude and being isolated. I think isolation leads to like cult mentalities, conspiracy theories, and people getting caught up in misinformation. But I think solitude is the opposite of that. I think solitude is the ability to say, during this time, I know I might be sensitive to other people, so I'm going to put myself over here, get myself in a good energy, so that when I re-enter to be around people, I can do it in a way where it feels like, no matter what they say, I'm not going to feel challenged. And even if they feel challenged by me, that doesn't mean I'm going to derail my progress. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know if you like this soft-spoken session. If so, I would even be open to doing something like this on Fridays, like a little ASMR podcasty kind of thing. I don't know. 2023 is an open year. It is what it is, okay? And this is your nightly, daily, or whenever you come here to do what you're doing, self-care routine. So let me tell you how this goes. For all of my new babies, and now you're one of my babies, you get one kiss on the forenoggin. And when you return back, because this is all about self-care consistency, you can have multiple kisses like this, my kiss attack. Okay, Mama loves you. So, we're going to work on today just removing any love blockages. And when I'm talking about removing love blockages, it is anything in your path preventing you from having the love that you want. Most of the time, people are thinking of it in a romantic way. That's fine. We're going to talk about romance. We're going to talk about family, friends, and most importantly, self-love. So all of these things are going to come up in this session. So if you're new to the community, we start the session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay, you ready? Let's begin. You want to hold my hand? Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So just working through that. And I want you to take a deep breath in. Exhale. And when you exhale, I want you to release. And as you're exhaling, you can say or even think, I'm ready to let this go. I'm ready to let any love blockages go. I'm ready to let any old love relationship patterns go. I'm ready to let go of people that need to be let go. Sometimes you can let people go and they keep on trying to crawl their way back in your life. We are removing any blockages. And I also want you to be able to see, to have great sight. Okay? Great sight here. I want you to have the ability to see so that you know where you're going. A lot of times people just don't know where they're going. And because they don't know where they're going, they're like this instead of just taking their time. So sometimes you just need to take a little time to develop a path. That's it. That's all. Feel free to change and switch it around as you go. So, love will free flow in your life. You will no longer be limited by old love patterns and belief systems. There is nothing that can prevent you from having this beautiful love. It starts from the self-love. It expands into the love of others, into romantic love, into community love, into family love, friendship love, collective love, soul love. All of that love is around you. And you have the right to love what you love too. We all have different preferences, different desires, different places where we feel at home in ourselves. So the most important thing you want to do is honor that. Whatever that is for you. And remove anything that does not align with the type of love you want in your life. Sending it somewhere else to be worked on. So hands to heart, because we've been doing this. Breathe in and out. And just ask yourself, what do I want from love? And in this moment, I want you to tell yourself, I give myself permission to have that. I give myself permission to have that. I give myself permission to have that. So just do that in love. Just do that in love. Just do that in love. Hands again here. Breathing. Good job. So just moving through here. And relaxing. Balancing. And if you'd like to work through shifting, especially mindset, you can check out the Organize Your Purpose podcast, which is my podcast. I've been doing it for a couple of years. I enjoy it. It's fun. You can binge the episodes. But a lot of the stuff that we do in love, we can do in other areas of our life. We can even infuse love into those other areas of our life to amplify the experience. So let's just break, and remove any blockages. Let me explain to you how blockages come to be. Sometimes it's just energetic patterns that we learn by observing, or we have some trauma that we never resolve. Other times it can be things that people put on us. And I'm saying that because even in that scenario, you still have the power. You're the most strongest energy in control of your physical body, but that energy can't be weakened if you surround yourself by the wrong people. So if you surround yourself around people who bring you down energetically, you're more susceptible. It's kind of just like the immune system, you know. If you have a weakened immune system, you're more susceptible to getting sick. Sometimes you are not in control of that. If you're young, you're like, oh, I'm not in control of this. Or if you're in a certain situation where you have to be around certain people, you have to find your ways of freedom. And the way I used to teach this before was, I used to tell people that if you need to establish a self-care practice, which can be anything, it can be doing this love work, it can be doing healing work, whatever that is, lock yourself in the bathroom and let these people think that you are using the bathroom. Lock yourself in there, okay? And devote 5, 10, 15 minutes a day that you can commit to. That you can. You can commit to that. People still may knock on the door, but, try 5 minutes or something. And what happens is when you start to shift your energy, the external starts to change. But when you try to do this in front of people who aren't 100% supportive, they will sense your energy shifting and they will try to block it. And that's what I mean when it happens to you. That's why sometimes you have to do it behind the scenes. If you happen to drive, using that time as well to carve it out, or, leaving maybe 5-10 minutes earlier so you can go somewhere and have some time just in that space. I know for me, something I used to do was I would make my sacred space, when I didn't have a sacred space, I made it my car. So I would have like crystals under the seat. I had like a whole singing bowl. I had, all kinds of cleansing tools in there, things to burn and stuff like that. Because I would go to work and I would go to the top level of the garage and I would have my practice there because it was the safest place and it was the most in control place. And the more consistent I was with that, the more my life started to change. And very interesting, when people see your life changing that are around you and they want you to go back to where you were, just to understand that as long as you're doing those things and you're keeping that momentum going, you're going to go forward. And, they got to straighten up and fly right and follow you. Or sometimes they kind of just have to be released. And that's just kind of how it is. So don't feel like just because you're spending 5 minutes or just because you feel like you're in a bind when it comes to love, that you feel like there's a blockage. Don't feel like you can't and you're not strong enough to break through that even with just 5 minutes a day. And most of y'all got 5 minutes a day. I'm talking to the extreme. Y'all got 15 minutes a day to work on yourselves. You do. You think you don't, but you do. You do. You do. And it will change. But people sometimes don't believe. They don't believe that they have the power. And if you take the power away from yourself, that's not even fair. You're not giving yourself a fighting chance. Stop looking for the power outside of you and bring that power inside of you. You have it. You can do it. So as you inhale and exhale, I want you to surrender and break those old patterns that no longer serve you. Just simply say, I let them go because I have to grow and I'm going in a direction they cannot come. I let them go because I have to grow and I am going in a direction that they cannot come. I have to let them go because I have to grow. And I'm going in a direction that they cannot go. And let that be. Let that be. Let that be. Let that be. When you start to shift, you're going to even start to giggle a little bit of like, whoa, I can't believe I was there. And sometimes low moments in life, especially when it comes to love, is just temporary. But sometimes it's a pit stop, and for some reason we want to make it our, permanent address. No, keep going. Keep going. There's a happiness to love. It's just a sweetness. I was talking about this on the podcast where you all know I love healing, and a part of healing is health, physical health, and all kinds of things like that. So I really love to follow fitness people who are in their like 60s, 70s, and 80s because I don't know. I just believe them, When I see other people, I'm like, what's happening here? You never really know. But when you're in your like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you're doing something right. And what I notice at that age is that people stop caring about the temporary aesthetic look, to look a certain way, and they just care about health. They care about how do they make their body as healthy as it can be for them. And when I think about that, it's like, wow, some of them have the simplest lives. And there's so much happiness in that. And just like with our own health, we have to heal our sense of love too. So what you love maybe doesn't even have to be this big thing. It can just simply be the purest form of love that you happen to find with another person. And it works out. So let's take other people's opinions out of it, other standards, and just be honest with yourself. What do you want? What do you need? You can't find a partner that makes you happy and your parents happy and then your best friends happy and then, your work happy. You have to find a partner that makes you happy and you make them happy. That's just it. Once there's too many chefs in the kitchen, it becomes a problem. And if people outside of you really want you to be happy, they should be happy that you have someone. And you don't have to be perfect. You can be in the dating and try this out or try that out, and it may or may not work. But don't let someone else dictate to you what that should be. You have to make the decision. What do you like? What do you love? What is for you? Remove any shame that you have. Remove any doubt that you have. Another blockage being for myself as a queer person, as a gay woman, it was very difficult for me to date women who were not out because as much as, I'm in a healing position and I am facilitating space for people to heal, I know that I have to have a partner who is at the same place in life as me. I just know. I know that. And the moments that I did have partners where I'm like, I saw that potential and I'll be there for you, it was the moment in which I would get frustrated because I'm like, see, it's safe here. Come on out, And they needed to take their time. They needed to come out when it was their time to come out. But then I lost the opportunity of being able to feel freedom in love. Because as they were taking their time inching out, I felt like I was, hiding for no reason. And so I got smarter and I learned, okay, there are a lot of great people out there. But my standard is, gotta be out. Not gonna do all that. And now I see it from a place of, being so deeply and madly in love. Wow, it's just wonderful. It's just a wonderful feeling. And that reflection of how many times I limited myself before, because I saw the potential in someone rather than understanding I'm just at a different place. So Think about it like that. And I'm sure there were times in my life and, other examples where I wasn't where I needed to be the best partner. And it's completely okay. I want you to look at it from this perspective. Stop blocking yourself. Anything that you want in love, you can have. Free yourself. Be who you want to be. Explore what you want to explore. Do what you want to do. Stop asking for permission. Don't worry about, because I know people in my generation, we always worry about, what if the job finds out? No one cares. No one cares. Just be you. Just be you. What if you find happiness? What if you find love? What if you find, wholeness? What if that? Live there. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope you feel better. So if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say it. I love you, but make sure you love yourself a little bit more each and every day. And just inhale, exhale, release. For all those who resonate with me and want to become an energy healing practitioner and a part of that, to receive, activate love in your life. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, daily self-care routine, or whenever you do what you do when you're doing it. So you come here and you take care of yourself. So if you're new, you're now one of my new babies. So you get one kiss on the forenoggin. And all of my returning babies get multiple kisses. Mama loves you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So we start the session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay. I also want to say you have a little bit of time before the pre-week starts. If you'd like to experience a week in my year-long apprenticeship, go ahead and check that out, okay? So do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. Relax, okay? May I touch you? Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay. So we're going to be starting around the crown, okay? And I just want you to relax here. I'm going to go do some Reiki symbols, opening you up to receive love. The first kind of love I want you to receive is self-love. Once you get that nice and full, then you can start to feel that self-love expressed by the love that shows up in your life that comes from other people, okay? So let's start there. Ready? Okay, take a deep breath in. Exhale. Chukure, 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 chukure. Say shunuk. Hancha se shunuk. Hancha se shunuk. Sahiki. 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 Thank you, myo. Thank you, myo. Thank you, myo. Okay. I'm just going to do my thing. I typically guide you, but I'm just going to work, okay? So just open yourself up to love. And the way that you open yourself up to love is you start with gratitude. I'm so grateful for the love in my life. And you just say it over and over and over again. And that shifts your mind, which shifts your mood, which shifts your energy, which shifts your life. There's a lot of so keep on going. Just breathe through here. And I want to remind you that Reiki symbols are sigils, meaning they are symbols that represent something. And it takes a lot of Reiki masters to build up the intention of the symbol. But you give it the power. So always know that you are in power. No matter where you're at, if you see a Reiki symbol or not, you're always in power. You always are allowed to have your boundaries. You're always allowed to say yes or no, okay? Keep breathing. Okay, and just flow through that. And just flow through that. And so just continuing to go. And again, continue to say, I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so happy to have this love in my life. I am surrounded by love. Love easily flows within my life. It flows around me. It flows within me. I have love so close to me. Love is everywhere. Everything I touch embodies love. I am so full of love that it overflows. I give love freely because I fill myself up freely with love first. Okay. Okay. Good job. And just shifting back and forth here. Shifting back and forth. Back and forth. And breathing into this. And working through this. Working through this energy. I want to empower you to create your own love ritual, something that's yours, okay? Something unique to you, and you can practice it on yourself and know that you have the power to create that. It can be applied to you. It is just as strong as these Reiki symbols because you give it the power. So opening you up to receiving and letting out, to bringing in love with ease. Okay, I'm just going to come in and balance this. And I don't want you to hold back love. I want you to bring the love into your life. I'm so happy to feel this love in my life. Just say it. I'm so happy to feel this love in my life. I surround myself by loving people, loving opportunities. I grow in the direction of love only. Love is within me at all times. I breathe in love. Love is me. I am love. I have love with great boundaries. I respect other people's boundaries. Love is flowing in the boundaries. Just keep breathing. Okay. Shift. Allow the love to flow above your head all the way to your toes. Allow the love to flow across your shoulders, down your limbs, your front body and back body. Allow the love to be around you at all times. The love to fill you up and give you what you need. Allow that love to be with you. Allow that love to be with you. Allow that love to be with you. Okay, just working through this. Just working through this and releasing it. Love surrounds you. Just take some love and just waft love all around you. And it really is a choice. There are a few things in our life that really are choices. And if it feels like a hard choice, just know that you have to break that cycle, that habit, that energetic thing that makes you feel like love is hard. Because love is easy. And I want you to focus love internally before the external. If you start from love here, you see how easy it is. You see how easy it is to have and receive, and that it's just a choice. And then you look for love like that on the outside versus the tough love on the outside. So you give yourself the tough love on the inside. It's not going to work. It's got to go this way and then out. So find that love within you first. We are love. You are loved by the community. The community has your back. You are love. You are loved by the community. And the more that you love yourself, you shine so bright. It reminds us to love ourselves. And there we can love freely, without requirements, without control, just loving for the sake of that love. Love for the sake of loving. Enjoy life for the sake of enjoying life. You have the free will to choose love each and every day. Make it the first thing you think about. Make it the last thing you think about. Make it all around you. You will find what you need, but you have to love yourself first to succeed. And move through this. And move through this. And move through this. love into your life. Each bit of love into your life. Each bit of love into your life. You have that love. You have all that you need. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope you filled yourself up with love. You are surrounded by love in every moment, and I want you to know that you have the power to actively choose. There is nothing in front of you preventing you from having self-love. You get to make the choice, and you have to practice the habit of loving yourself more and more. And if you do that, you'll get the relationship. You'll have the people around you that feel right. You'll be working on things that bring you purpose. But it's up. I am a Reiki master teacher and intuitive. And today we have a special healing session. We're gonna make it happen. It's all about making it happen and aligning your energy so that you know, that you feel, that you exude, that you have all of that, okay? So if you're new to the community, babies, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is your nightly self-care routine, daily, or whenever you come here. You know, if you just got it playing in the background during the day, bless you. And here is the time for you to take care of yourself. So we have a new video every day of the week, and on the weekends you go out and you have fun. So by being a new baby, you get one kiss on the forenoggin, okay? And for all my returning babies, multiple kisses. Mama loves you. I'm so excited to spend some time with you all. I want to remind you of the 52-week challenge that we have going on in the Patreon community. We're mastering 1 to 2 things this year, and we have a meeting coming up. We have resources, and it's all across the board. Sometimes things are mindset, sometimes it's ritual. It just depends on what people need. No requirement. I just took a list of all the things people wanted to focus on, and I'm just going to be slowly posting different things so you can take what you need and leave what you don't. And if you'd like to join that challenge, you can head on over to the Patreon community, Patreon Reiki Healing Hope. The link is in the description, and it is only $3 a month, so you can't beat that with a bet. So let's go ahead and get started. And because you're new, I don't know if that's true. You might just be returning. Anyway, if you're new, we start the session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. I was going to say a culture. And if you're okay with me saying a prayer, do I have your consent to say a prayer? Okay. May I hold your hands? Okay, sounds good. Let's get started. You can close your eyes. You can keep it open. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And I hope you all are enjoying me incorporating some soft spoken. Okay, so let's get into it. So I'm just going to work through your energy first. And I'm just kind of wiping it clean, dry erase board, wiping it clean. You have to understand that no matter what has happened in life or is happening, and what is for you will be for you. And you have to believe in yourself. You have to have faith in the fact that the blessings, the progress, the things you want, they will come to you, and maybe they'll come to you in unconventional ways. What I mean by that is we can get so caught up in wanting our blessing to come to us in a particular way that we lose sight of the fact that we might be closer to our goals than we know if we just open ourselves up to unconventional ways of receiving what we need. You might think, oh, you want to go to, I don't know, some vacation. And you're like, oh, I need the time off from work. I never get the time off. And maybe the solution is a little bit different. Maybe the solution is you end up getting a job where you travel all the time, so you'll always have the days off, instead of trying to force something in an area that maybe it's not for that purpose. This can also be related when it comes to money. Feeling like, okay, once, I get this amount, I can get this car, this fill in the blank, whatever it is you want. Not realizing that maybe there's ways to get there. Maybe again, you have a job that gives you a car. Or maybe you can buy a car used from someone who they want to get rid of it. It may not be the traditional way, but they just want you to take over their payments. I'm just using these examples to say that a lot of things that you want can come in unconventional ways. I think let's think of more creatives to things. Maybe you want people to notice your art, your artwork, and you think that means you have to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. But maybe instead you do something meaningful, impactful, and only one person sees it. But it's the right person. The person who actually has access to getting you into some type of gallery or some type of room. So instead of needing all of those hundreds and thousands of millions of people, you just had one right person who saw it. So don't be afraid to chase after your dreams, your goals, your creative endeavors. Don't be afraid. You gotta think about the fact that you may get what you need in unconventional ways. There's no linear path to success. There's just the path that you take. And your path is going to be different than theirs. And that's why it's important. You have to do it your way, or you won't fulfill what you need to in this life. So if you ever feel down, or you feel like you're not making progress, just know that you are. You may be making a lot of progress, but you assume that progress would create a certain reaction. Surrender yourself from the reaction, the conventional one, and think about the unconventional path. Maybe the answer. Keep yourself open. Keep yourself open to the fact that maybe the answer is something you've never thought of before. So even if it may not be clear how you're going to get to where you need to go, know that as long as you trust, have faith, and put in action, you're going to get somewhere. And if you're excited, you're going to get to your dreams. And you can't be stopped. There are some people, though, who feel like, okay, all this stuff makes sense, but There's something about me, I'm just unlucky. And what I have to say to that is you can't be stopped. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there to be seen. Some people are afraid to be seen in front of other people because they feel like, oh, this is going well. People see me now. They might be jealous. They might want to, stop you, whatever, da 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 da. No. Those people who could be jealous, whatever, those people will only be there for a moment. So don't make it longer or harder than it needs to be. If you got some haters, you're doing a good thing. It's fine. But don't sit and linger with them. Not everybody is going to like you all the time. Get used to it. But the right people will really appreciate you. And it's the only thing that matters. And you got to have strong discernment. You have to understand that you got to say no to things that you don't want and yes to things that you do. Just like if somebody pops up in your life, they want to spend time with you, but it doesn't feel right romantically. Just because they're doing the things that you want, but you don't like them, does not mean you need to be with them. Same thing when it comes to a job. Okay, you pop up with a job. It may be paying what you like, but you don't like it. But you're like, well, it's a safe bet. Even though I'd rather be working towards this, it's a safe bet. That blessing then will become something miserable. So it's probably better that you continue to work towards what it is that you want. Maybe you'll take that job just for a little bit of time for financial security, but work towards what you want because it will feel better. It will be more meaningful. And you can say no. You do not have to force yourself in working environments where people are treating you bad, talking to you crazy, or it's just not an environment in which people feel like they can move forward and have upward mobility. Same thing with family. Same thing with friends. Same thing in the way that you talk to yourself. Sometimes you gotta get real with yourself and say, I'm only gonna say sweet things. I'm only gonna say encouraging things. If you start to feel like scared or I can't do it, I'm gonna let you feel that way, but I'm still gonna encourage you. And I'm gonna be afraid and scared and nervous, but I'm gonna still go after it. Because you can't be stopped. Once you put your mind to it, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. It's only a matter of time before you get to where you're going. So get comfortable with that. Get used to that. Get used to that being your reality now. Get used to that being your norm. Get used to that. Get used to it. Get used to it. Get used to it. And don't worry. You might feel pressure to be perfect or to be something you're not. But don't worry about that. Just be yourself. You cannot be stopped. The universe has your back, but you gotta have your own back too. Okay, babies, how are you feeling? Checking in with you. Just don't want to balance your energy out here. And I want you to really feel encouraged that you can make anything happen no matter where you're at. There's tons of people in life, in history, that have been born, that will be born, that will not be born with much, but decide through sheer blossom and or bloom. I am Jessica Sup. I'm a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It's making them ready to love you right. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, your daily self-care routine, your anytime self-care routine, whatever. Just allow us to be in your community and a part of your collective space. So if you're new, you get one kiss on the forelock. And for all of my returning babies, you get multiple kisses. Mama loves you. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. If you're new to the community, we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay, now today I'm cold again. So I will be wrapping myself up. So, you ready? Take a deep breath. Exhale, release. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay. So, let me see what I can do underneath this blanket because my arms is cold. I should have wore a long sleeve. I typically will wear like a sweatshirt. And I run hot most of the time. Like when I get in the bed and I fall asleep, I wake up, I'm always so hot. But I am freezing. And my mom came over here. She was like, why's your house so cold? I was like, I don't know. I think y'all seen that commercial where it's like, you're becoming your parent. I think that's what it is, because I'm like, what this light bill looking like? Anyway, so making them ready to love you right. So I want you to do right now is just start by taking 3 deep breaths. I want you to take them on your own. Begin your first breath, inhale, and just go through the flow of those deep breaths. What I want you to do in this moment is to clear out any negative connections that are no longer serving you, that are no longer working for you. That means when we are working on another person to make them ready to receive you, you have to understand that you are being worked on as well. It makes more sense to work on you than it is to work on another person. But we live in a world where everything is externalized. Everything is outside of us. But the secret to most things is inside of us. So we're going to work at the same time in both ends. Like, we're going to work on them, we're going to work on you, and just balance out. And give me 2 more seconds underneath this blanket. Let me rub my arms, and I'm good to go. Oh, okay. Let me just do it like this. Cheat code. So just breathe here. Breathe here. Relax into this. Just relax into this. Now, somewhere out there, they're feeling the same way, wanting to be open to you, wanting to know you, wanting to treat you right, wanting to get to know you in a new way. Whatever that is, just relax here and just inhaling and exhaling and releasing. Clearing out any communication that no longer works. clearing out any old love habits and cycles that no longer work, letting it go, redeveloping and redefining your life as they redevelop and redefine their life as well. Approaching love in a totally new way, in a way that brings true happiness, fulfillment, and authentic satisfaction. A love that you can depend on, that you can count on and be counted on. A love that defies time. I want to say logic, but I don't know. Because then y'all stay in these struggle relationships, and I'm like, y'all took that logic thing way too far. So instead, let's say defies other people's expectations, okay? We're just working with yours and theirs. And just, I don't mean to make fun of the struggle loves, y'all. Everybody been in a struggle love from from a time or two in their life. So don't worry about me. I am laughing with you if you in a struggle love. And the only reason why I say that is because it's so clear. Even if you knee deep in a relationship that's not working out, literally, if you just say, no, I'm not going to do this anymore, and leave. Now, mind you, when you leave, that's when people try harder. And so it might work out for you. But if you just clear all that out, you will attract the right love you're looking for. Again, when you make a decision to say like, oh, I don't want this anymore in my life, you're like, I'm gonna leave, that's when a person wants to try. So they might surprise you. So if you really enjoy a good struggle love from time to time, and you're like, look, I'm ready to bounce, this is not working, they may, redefine, or maybe you're in that situation where you're like, oh, I don't know what I want, blah, 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 blah. At this point, I'm gonna get straight to the point, okay? If it causes confusion, if you're like, oh, don't waste your time, let it go. Also, have enough respect for another person not to waste their time. When you meet people, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So you don't have to put all of the responsibility that whoever you're with in the moment, interested or talking to, has to be your forever person. It's nice if it is, but if it doesn't feel right, if they don't show up for you when you need them to, if y'all don't have the type of dynamic where you can rely on each other, do they take care of you when you're sick? Or on the reverse, are they always giving to you, but they're not necessarily the person you want? So you find yourself maybe not giving to them, but you feel like, oh, well, this is a great person. Let me force myself to like this person. Regardless of what it is, you have to be very clear about what you want, and you have to say no to what isn't working. Free that person. And I like to kind of take my time here because there's a lot of relationships that continue to go on where people won't do that. And I would say a small percentage of them get better. And I feel like majority of them are not. But people are so afraid. They're afraid to be alone. They're afraid they're not going to find someone else. I think a worse fear is that that person will go and be excellent to someone else, which is true. That's what I think people don't quite understand. That's 100% true. The fear is true. They will be excellent to someone else. And the reason why is it's much easier to treat a new person in a new dynamic than to treat someone in a new way. It's just hard. It's hard, and you can struggle love it as much as you want to get to the other side, and say that it was totally worth it. But for those who choose a peaceful path, maybe not that. And the reason why I say that is, especially for, I'm going to be honest, especially for women, the quickest way to derail your dreams and your goals and your passion and your movement is to get caught up in some relationship drama, because we live in a society that does not structure women to have the access to life mobility as well as healthy relationship standards and dynamics. And the reason why I'm saying that is you should choose the relationship that works best for you. You should challenge why. I'm not saying this is you who's in the struggle love, but you might know somebody that knows something about it. You should challenge the notion of being in a struggle love. The reason being is I strongly feel that struggle love is a part of a systemic structure in order to keep women wherever we're at, in order to preoccupy us with some stuff that don't make sense at all. Instead of looking for equal partnerships, instead of looking for healthy partnerships, maintaining that hegemonic energy when it comes to women and gender and things like that. And to that I say, I scoff. No. You deserve to feel love. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to embody love, the fullest experience of love. So I don't care what kind of relationship you got right now. If you do got one or if you don't got one, if it's not working out, say no. And take this moment to check in with yourself. Literally park yourself in front of a mirror and start asking yourself these questions. What do you want? What do you need me to go get for you? I promise I will go get what you need. I have the courage to bring the love into our life that we need. I will no longer settle for underwhelming love. I will no longer be engaged in underwhelming love. I will no longer be that. I will free anybody that is not the right person for me as well. All of that is the type of energy I'm talking about connecting to. But you have to have, cover myself up, my arm getting cold again. But you have to have the courage to do it. You have to have the courage to do it. Now I will say one little asterisk, and that is, don't blow a situation out of proportion. If all you need to do is just communicate what you need to your partner, go do that. Don't run away from a relationship because you got fear of commitment. If that's all you need to do is just communicate what you need, communicate what you need. But when I talk about a struggle love, I'm talking about, cheating, misbehaving, abusive things. That's what I'm talking about. If you just need to communicate what you need out of a relationship, that's something different. That's communication. Just go say what you need, especially if the person is nice, you care for them, but there's something that you need to work through or something. That's different. So don't get it confused. If you're afraid of commitment and you heard this and you're like, yes, this sounds like a plan. Maybe really think it through. If you're not afraid of commitment, maybe you should sit and reflect a little bit. Make sure you're where you need to be. Regardless, babies, it's going to be okay. You get to attract that love in your life. I'm going to give you a little snippet, little side story. I felt like for a long time I was in these love dynamics in which I felt like I was giving so much emotionally. And when I got out of a very like long-term relationship and got back into dating and was dating this woman I really liked, blah, 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 right? What I noticed about her was she was better than where the woman I was with before, but at the same time, it was the same dynamic. And it's so interesting how the universe works, because I knew in that moment, I was like, look, man, I got tripped up before. I'm not about to get tripped up again. Ha ha. So when it reappeared, it was almost like, well, you know, I could technically tolerate this better than what I was dealing with before. But I really thought about it. And I just felt like, no, I have to break this. And for someone I didn't know that long, it was tough breaking the cycle. It felt painful. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't feel this deep for this person. Why does this feel so painful? And I realized that breaking the cycle, regardless of who that person was next to me, was going to be uncomfortable. And I had seen before, especially when I was younger, that I had convinced myself with those moments that I wanted to break the cycle and I couldn't. I had convinced myself that I had some deep love for this person. That's why I'm too afraid to, break the cycle. No, it was self-work. It was self-worth. It was breaking that within me. And it's interesting because the moment I broke it, I felt this fear, this first fear of, something irrational is supposed to happen. I don't know. And then once that irrational thing never happened, I felt a sense of peace and clarity that I never noticed before. And it wasn't just about, hey, I don't want to be with you. It wasn't that at all, That's not the important part. The important part was more of, hey, universe, source, God, whatever you want to call what's out here. Hey, God. Hey, Jessica. We're not going to do this no more. So we release this with peace and we moving on. After that, the rest was history. Your girl is very happy in life. But it took a lot of struggling. So, when I make fun of the struggle love, it is not to it's to bring awareness, because people think they're in those great ups and down relationships. But we live in a different time. You got to think about previous eras of your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents. They were forced to stay together. They were forced to tolerate cheating. They were forced to tolerate abuse. They were forced to tolerate neglect. Sometimes they just had arrangements, relationships that just turn into roommates. That was their norm. That is not your norm. In this day and age, you do not have to. If I'm gonna live with a roommate, let them actually be my friend that I like to be around all the time, Well, anyway, babies, I hope you enjoyed this session today, and I hope this just kind of made you giggle a little bit and eased your mind. Well, if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say it. I love you, but make sure you love yourself each and every day. If you would like more love work, we have the Love Magnet program happening on the My People community. So y'all, I created this free membership for you all. And this month we're running the love program. Next month we're going to have Saturn in Pisces for everybody, and especially those who are going into their first Saturn return in Pisces. Ooh, child, I got what you need. And we're going to keep on going from there. I'm so excited for this community. What really prompted me was I got so tired of this algorithm mess and the whole, I put something out there And then people are telling me, well, I haven't seen that yet. I didn't. No. You will get these daily notifications of whatever program we're working on. And we have, beautiful chat going on and just a lot of community and collective energy. So you never feel alone. You feel supported. I think that's what it's all about. And this healing session is complimenting you on your beauty. You're so beautiful. And this beauty is both an external beauty and the feeling that you exude as well. So, if you're new to the community, welcome. This is your nightly self-care routine, your daily self-care routine. It's whenever you want to play this video in the background. I appreciate it. So it's just a time for you to take care of yourself. So I curate a various selection each week, each month, or there's different themes. And you come back every night in order to just enjoy, share some of the community and be in this space. I also want to let you know that I have created an additional community called the My People community. My People is a place where we're coming together and we're just making our dreams come true. It is an uninterrupted space for you. So if you've been a part of some of my other communities, I feel so great that I was able to take key components of those communities and put it into one space, collaborative, interactive, and just so much that I plan on doing. So right now we have the love program. So if you want to attract love both from someone special as well as working and healing through love in various ways, head on over to the community because I have a program up now. And for all of my Saturn in return, my Saturn and Pisces return babies, I have something special for you in March. So if this is your first Saturn return baby, it's going to flip you upside down. So head on over to that community. There is a link in the description, and I'm going to have a program for you to really help you transition. It's going to be life changing the next 2 years for you. So this is going to be one place where it's going to be grounded. So as you go out in the world and you're doing your thing, your thug dizzle, when you're out in the world and you're doing your thing, just know that you can come back to this space and find grounding. Okay, so let's get started. We start the session with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. So we're going to bring our hands to heart. And we're just feeling that heart energy, that love energy. Let's begin. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I Am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So, just relaxed right here. I'm going to, we have this mugwort mixture happening this week. And I just want you to relax. And I'm going to tell you what I see. I see beauty. I see energy. I see love. The type of love that you give cannot be duplicated. It cannot be replaced. When someone experiences your love, it is unlike anything that they've ever experienced before. If one should be so lucky to be in your energy, they might be desperate not to leave. Let love surround you in all that you do. You are surrounded by deep love. You are surrounded by the love of your ancestors, by the universe, God, whatever you want to call what's out here. That's your business. I don't care. You get to choose what that name is. You are surrounded by the energetic helpers, archangels, gods and goddesses, Orisha energy. You are protected. You are protected, and you are protected. Your beauty isn't just in what you look like. Your beauty is also in the energy that you create. You create happiness wherever you go. Your energy flows. Your energy creates a smile on the face of others. Your energy is a warm hug, a bowl of soup with a grilled cheese. Your energy is all of those things. Your energy is with you. And if you're one of my new babies, you get one kiss on the forehead. And for my returning babies, you get multiple kisses. Mama loves you. Your energy feels good. That's why people want to be around you. Even if they're complicated, you have good energy. You have this pureness about you. There's this wisdom, this regal nature about you. You deserve this love to be flowing around you. You deserve peace and opportunity. You deserve loving relationships, partnerships, family, environments that support you and nurture you. You deserve all those things. Anything that you want, you can have. Anything you need is available to you at all times. When your true love sees you, they see nothing but light and love and happiness and peace. You are a vacation. You are pure relaxation. You are the easiest form of love to be around. You are all of those things. That is the energy that you have. Your beauty transcends time and space. You are seen for all of the intricate details that you put into your appearance in this world. However that is, you get to choose. Whether it is natural, different, unique, glam, conservative, all kinds of stuff. Whatever that look is for you. Others can see it and they enjoy it. So sit in this moment. You can place your hands on your chest right here. And just feel the beauty that is you surrounding you. If you're looking for love and you've been feeling lonely, just know that that love you're looking for is within you. You can have partnership and you can have people to be around, but just know that that love is within you to fill you up at any moment, at any time. Don't just reserve this love to pour out onto others all the time. Fill yourself up. Keep your glass full, and when that love starts to flow over, give that to others without any need for anything to be in return, because you already have all that you need within yourself. When you meet others who share this same energy, appreciate them as they appreciate you. See their beauty and allow them to see your beauty. Allow you all to create beautiful colors, beautiful work, beautiful experiences with each other, beautiful impact. You have all that you need now to attract the love you're looking for, to shift the current love that you have, and to heal any past pain and love. It is not your fault that things didn't turn out the way that maybe you thought they should, but also know that whenever something is removed, it creates space for something that is better, new, unique, and gives you the opportunity to replace that empty space with something that fits you better, that something aligns with who you are. All of those things. All of those things, all of those things, all of those things. You have access to that. You are allowed to be in love with yourself, with the moment, with life, with the universe, with others. You have this energy that connects whatever you're looking for to you when you need it at the perfect time. All you need is faith. Everything else works itself out. If you need money, it will show up. If you want love, it will make its way. If you want health, you will find options. There are so many things that you have a connection to, that your energy pulls towards you. And when those experiences show up in your life, allow those experiences to love you, to nurture you, to take care of you, to protect, to provide, as well as you to love, nurture, care, protect, and provide. To hold those space for each other, for the collective, for yourself. Within you is the secret to all of your happiness, to what you need, to what you're looking for. You have what you need. You have what you need. You have what you need. You are so beautiful, just as you are. And you're still beautiful if you make changes. The beauty is in your energy. The beauty flows nonstop, all the time. Take a deep breath in and breathe that in. Breathe that reality and that truth. Exhale, let it go. Another deep breath, breathing it all the way to the core of you. You are pure love. You are the essence of love and life. Whenever you're ready, you release that air, letting go of anything that needs to be released. Old mindsets, old habits, just old periods in life. You gotta just let it go, because there's so much more for you. Love is within reach. Love is already there. You have what you need, and you will get what you need. You will be taken care of at all times, and the universe has your back. You are the purest, most unique, most beautiful form of love, and you can't help but allow others to see that. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed, and I want you to re-listen to this session as many times as you need to. Whenever you need to, when you're feeling good, when you're not feeling good, to know what your energy is, both on the outside and the inside, and to use this to change your vibrational state so that you can attract love, that you can sit in the moment with yourself and attract self-love as well. Sup, I'm a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special session as we are continuing on this little mini series of healing. We're going to be healing the spirit, the soul's connection. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And if you're new to the community, welcome, 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 babies. Hey, this is your nightly or daily self-care routine where you take care of yourself and you do what you do when you do what you're doing. I'm sorry, I forgot to give y'all some forelogging kisses in one of the videos. Okay, so I'm going to give you some, and you're gonna get some extra ones. So the new babies, you will get 1 kiss on the forelogging. You're now one of my babies. And for my returning babies, multiple 2 times kisses. Mama loves you. Okay, let's go ahead and get this going, get this together. So we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Excellent. Okay, you ready? Relax. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So we have about a week left before we start the pre-week, which is to experience a week in my year-long energy healing apprenticeship, energy healing practitioner apprenticeship. So it's starting March 19th. It goes to March 26th. You got about a week. I only do it about once a year. I might do it twice. I don't know. It depends on how this goes. So feel free to join that. So today we're going to be working on the spirit and the soul. So the first thing I want you to do is just bring your hands to your heart right here and get real comfortable with yourself. Give yourself a little hug. You remember this when you were younger? You look like you're making out. Give yourself a nice little hug here and be okay with yourself. It's so important that in this life, you feel as though your soul's purpose, your soul mission, which is a part of your dreams, whatever your dreams are, because I said I'm a dream weaver, whatever your dreams are, I want you to deeply connect here. Because when you do not live out your dreams, it feels like your soul is dying. It feels like your soul is kind of getting its battery kind of not recharged, or kind of you've been plugging in your battery too long and now it's just sucked up all the energy. It won't hold the charge. So what you want to do is you want to bring that back into yourself, bring that back into your life. First thing you do is you follow your dreams. And second thing you do is you find your spiritual path, your routine. You all know all the time, I don't care what you do, that's your business, because I'm going to do what I want to do. And I could care what someone else says, So you have to make the decision of what's right for you and stick with it. Be okay with if it grows, changes, whatever, but it's mostly about your consistency, having consistency with yourself. And the soul here starts to shift. It starts to grow and it starts to feel different. So I want you to take this moment to tap into whatever your understanding is to the unknown, the divine. Or if you decide that, there's nothing out there. What I notice people is that even when people are atheists, they have an understanding of what they think is out there. It just may not align with religion, or it may not align with society and culture. So when I say whatever your understanding is, I mean whatever that is, because there are people who find a strong spiritual path in their religious path as well. So all of these people are living at the same time. Nobody is wrong. You just have to be in whatever feels right to you. This division that we see when it comes to the elitism of religion and spiritual paths is such a waste of time. It's such a waste of time and space. The reason why I say it's a waste of time and space is because connect in. You do not need something outside of you to validate what your spiritual path is. You can feel guided. You can feel like something brings energy in, but you have to make that decision and allow yourself that power to do so, and give others the freedom to do so as well. People have common sense. They're not going to be doing weird things, but you got to go on that journey. Okay? Because when people are forced to do things, like when you're forced into a religion or a spiritual belief or something like that, it's really no different than when someone forces you into a job or a career or a role you don't like, forces you to do a hobby you don't like, forces you, you feel forced to be in a working environment that you don't like. All of these things kind of suck the soul. And the purpose of the soul, I believe, you have your own things. The purpose of the soul is to free yourself, to open yourself up, to open your mind up, to find a path that's different, to find a path that's unique to you. Even if it feels weird, like I know for myself that I am a healer. I take on clients, I teach others, and I like to create resources for people to use to tap in to their self-care journey, self-care practice every day. So it's going to look different every day. On the outside looking in, I think that if people have never heard of energy healing, Reiki, ASMR, they have no clue what I'm doing. It looks a little crazy. But who cares? Because I get so much light in life when you all tell me how much these communities that I put a lot of times putting together, how it positively impacts your life. So I know it has a purpose. I didn't need someone else to come and chart this out for me. I didn't need someone else to come and, do this life for me. I'm creating my own lane each and every day. So I say that to say to you to create your lane each and every day. Follow your soul. And the soul's purpose and the soul's mission can look all over the place, But what you want to think about how you're going to feel when you're older, when you're in your 80s, in your 90s. What are you going to feel like you wasted your time doing when you were younger? You wasted your time worried about things that didn't matter. You wasted your time trying to live up to other people's expectations. You wasted your time playing it so safe that you never chased your dream or allowed yourself to truly just be yourself. Always trying to put on a mask for someone else or something else. And also, you waste your time pursuing things that really weren't that important to you. You got to decide what's really important to you. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. I can honestly tell you, in building this community, I lost a whole relationship because I believed so strongly in this, and they could not understand what was going on here. They're low-key hating, but they couldn't understand what was going on here, to the point where I made the decision, this is where I need to be, this is my path. And they were so nervous. Well, you're really spiritual. I don't know how to describe that to other people. I feel embarrassed. That's on you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. And so what I did was I trusted myself. I went forward. And now I feel like I connect with people. First of all, found love. Okay, so don't worry about that. Very happy. But I also feel like had I stopped because someone else outside of me told me to stop, then I would have missed the opportunity to see so many people grow and move on their self-care journey. And I've always wanted to give people what I was missing. I wanted these spaces, and now I'm able to create these spaces. So I say that to say, in following my soul, I'm making it up every day, but it's isn't worth it. I can't imagine any other life. I can't imagine any other feeling. I can't imagine any other way of doing things. And I keep my life open to maybe I'll have other things I want to do or other things that take up my time. But I know I'm exactly where I need to be. I know I'm where I'm doing the greatest good. So I want to encourage you to check in with yourself. How do you feel? Do you feel that you're where you want to be? And it's okay to have goals that you're working towards. But I mean, are you on the right trajectory? What does your soul tell you? What does your spirit tell you? You can tap in here and start to ask yourself what's important. And I want you to trust the first thoughts that come up. Because whenever I do intuitive training, which, may I shout out, is a part of the apprenticeship, I get people really, really comfortable with what are the first thoughts that come up in their channeling sessions and trusting that. When you trust yourself, because you're not going to lie to yourself, you're not going to. You can try to suppress how you feel because you feel like, oh, it's not realistic or not right now. But your dreams will eventually come up. Okay? So when you trust yourself, your soul flourishes. And you have to be very, very precise with how you want to approach this life. Like for me, when I look at myself and I look at overall what is my life's purpose, I understand that my life's purpose at this moment in my life is healing, is health. And I show up each and every day by working on myself each and every day. And then from the things that I learn, I create communities to support others to do the same as they work on themselves. That's simple, straight to the point. But I know that even if I wasn't doing this, health would still be very, very, very important to me. So I'm opening up this opportunity for you all to check in with yourself too. What is your soul telling you? What is it saying? You know, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be complicated either. We don't have to have this big complicated thing. Let life play out however it is, however it wants to play out. I used to do a lot of manifesting work, especially when I was early on in my training, because I felt like I wasn't in control of my own life. So I felt like I wanted to manifest to bring things in. But now that I'm in a space where I'm in full control of my own life, I don't do the same things. I just allow life to happen. Why? Because you don't always have to manipulate everything. You don't always have to stay in the same situation and just hope for little glimpses of your dream life to come into your life. Because I feel like that perspective, that's what kind of was happening with the manifesting. Instead, if you course correct, put yourself on the right trajectory, you can just walk the path and live life. You can be excited by the things that show up. You don't have to be in control of everything at all times. Just walk forward, connecting with your energy, connecting with your spirit, connecting with yourself. Just walk forward. So I want you to take 3 deep breaths here. And I want to cement in you that you have permission to dream whatever you want to dream and to follow through on those dreams. First breath. Second breath. And final breath. Good job, babies. You've done an excellent job, and I hope you have been enjoying this mini series. I would like to tap in and remind you that the 52-week challenge is still going on. It has moved. It is now in the My People community. So thempcommunity.com is where you can go to join the Mystic group, where we're continuing on with the 52-week challenge. There's multiple things going on there. We have 2 communities. We have My People, and inside of My People, we have a special space called the Mystics, where we continue esoteric knowledge learning. And also, I do all my pilot programs there. So whenever you all come up with a good idea, or I come up with a good idea that eventually becomes something, I like to test it out there first. So that's one of the really great perks of being a part of that community, and just a lot of really amazing and fun things. So come on over to the My People community. There's free things, there's paid things. So whatever level it is, just come on over. It is a way where you can interact. It's a way where you can post and share and be in community and collective with each other. It's super lovely, super wonderful. I've been asking people how they like it. Chef's kiss, they love it. And also to remind you, you do have about 1 more week to sign up for the pre-week, just to enjoy it. If you just want to do the pre-week, that's fine too, but I want to give you this opportunity just to feel it and just to see how it feels. So if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say it, babies. I love you, but love yourself a little bit more each and every day. So I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.